Well, you had the unique opportunity of working with an architect who was willing to take risks. You had a client who was able to kind of go beyond what is usually expected, and you had a decision that was during the construction process. So the idea was not to form a collection, not to buy any art on the market, but basically to invite 7 international artists to really work with the building and the identity of the Lufthansa. And that way you have not something on the walls, you have no paintings, you have nothing that is really useful, but you basically have 7 installations. Some of them cannot be easily detected, and all of it is only for the employees of Lufthansa. It's not a public building, it's not meant to be any kind of exhibition, it's really an art program solely for the employees and the building itself.
How did you choose the artists?
Well, we selected artists who we felt are able for the task, who through their practice are used to working with an identity of an institution, who are able to kind of work within a spatial environment, and in that way we composed the selection, and together Nicolas Schaffhausen and I agreed, I think, on a very good list of artists who all agreed to participate, and at the end all the artworks, which is fairly unusual in a process like this, worked out, and we have a very positive result.
So people are working here, they like what they have as art here in the building?
I assume, since I don't work here, I guess so. I would say if they don't like it, we would hear it, and usually if they wouldn't like it, you encounter kind of a certain distance to the artworks, and that is not what is happening here. I think that obviously any kind of installations of art in a building like this are first something that kind of challenges you, which is actually also what it should be, and then they get embraced by the employees. And I think this embracement has already happened, and they are part of the building, they are an integral part of the structure, and they are part of the Lufthansa identity.
Did the architecture here help in this cast to fill it with contemporary art?
I think the architect helped, and on the other hand also the architecture has a lot of open spaces with the garden structures. It gives some spatial opportunities, obviously, though we didn't use all of these. So you encounter actually artworks that are not on purpose, they are not in the vast open area, but they are kind of somewhere in other areas. So it was not an idea to have kind of one sculpture in the middle of one courtyard and one sculpture in the other, but basically to use the building in a different way.
Some artists, they built the sculptures here directly in the building, I think.
Yes, especially Michael Beutler. I mean, that's also kind of how he works. He only brought a self-constructed machine and some material with him, and through that he constructed a 16-meter high tower of garden houses that will forever be here a sign of expectations, of desire towards the foreign countries that Lufthansa is traveling to.
Okay, Berstrolli, perhaps some words about your work in the Lufthansa Aviation Center?
Well, I was asked to work with like 2 glass separation walls of the offices of the 2 CEOs here. So it's kind of a very, it's not your usual public building job. It was really at the center of, you know, like the hierarchy somehow. So that's quite exceptional, because usually, you know, you'd never get as close to these guys with art, probably. And they, the 2 offices, the CEOs who worked in there, they both accepted to go for that artwork, which is quite big and with which they really have to live for good.
Was it hard to convince them?
No, I think they quite like the idea. I mean, as we've seen, they are kind of open-minded people, what was a bit more tricky was like finding a way to agree on the selection of images, because I mean, usually when I design one of these installations, I really just do whatever I like to do as an artist, and in that case these CEOs really wanted to decide with me what they will have to look at for the next few years and whatnot. So
I gave them a selection and you discussed with them.
Exactly. So there were several backs and forths, and finally we agreed upon design.
What is your personal relationship to flying? You fly often, I guess.
Yeah, just today when I flew here from Brussels, I thought again I always like flying. So like, you know, like a child or something, you still have. It is a big fascination. Even if it's just like Lufthansa economy class and cramped and
even then,
just chocolates and nothing to eat anymore. But it's, you know, nice to look out the window.
What do you think about when Swiss came to Lufthansa, or when they?
Well, it was
Swiss,
about time. I mean, because it was pretty clear from the beginning that they were not able to survive themselves, and that Lufthansa was the ideal partner. And I've been living in Germany for about 20 years, so.
Because now Swiss have a close relationship to
anymore. Yeah. No, but I think everybody has gotten used to it and is quite happy with it.
What are your next projects?
I am working on a solo show in my gallery in Düsseldorf, with which I've been working for quite a while. For June, then I just completed a large window installation, because like the technique I use here for these separation walls, I quite often use them for large outdoor installations on facades of big buildings. So I did one of those for the Kunstmuseum, Art Museum in Wolfsburg. And I'm working on several more commissions and the usual exhibitions and publications and the like.
There are a lot of art fairs nowadays in Germany. We have the Art Cologne, we had the Fenêtre fair Frankfurt. What do you think about this circus of art fairs? Do you participate?
Because I have a place in Düsseldorf and one in Brussels. I actually attended the openings in Brussels and Düsseldorf just yesterday and the day before, and also on the way by I had a look at Cologne. And I have to admit I'm a bit exhausted to have now tonight like a third social thing somehow. So. But of course it's totally ridiculous, and I just hope, I mean, to have 3 art fairs in the same region at the same time, and I hope actually that it doesn't work out very well, so that people get back to earth a little bit.
Im ganzen Haus sind ungefähr 7 Türen verteilt von Elmgren und Draxet. Es gibt 2, 3 prominente Türen, die jeder sofort sieht. Im Eingangsbereich gibt es eine, die sehen wir gleich, bevor wir kurz rausgehen. Es geht hoch bis zum Vorstand, und die Idee von Elmgren und Draxet war, dass es Türen sind, die im normalen Ablauf vorhanden sind, die keiner merkt, und kleine Interruptions sind. Also der Türgriff ist falsch, es ist eine doppelte Kette dran, die eine Tür steht auf. Also es gibt lauter so Unfälle, die kaum merkbar sind. Es gibt kaum jemand im Haus, der weiß, wo alle Türen sind. Deswegen starren auch alle auf die Tür, aber die Tür ist die da drüben. Es gibt eine hauseigene Bank, und die hat eben eine russische Tür bekommen. Die haben auch alle die gleiche Funktion, sind alle die gleichen Türen, aber sie sind falsch. Also es gibt oben dann Türen, man hat auf einmal 3 Türen nebeneinander und weiß gar nicht, welche ist denn jetzt die Tür. Man merkt es anhand der Stirn quasi, aber irgendwann kriegt man es dann raus. Wir finden nur per Zufall nachher noch ein paar Türen, weil ich weiß auch nicht mehr genau, wo sie alle hingebaut haben. Die gibt es ja gar nicht. Nein, geht nicht auf. Nein, alles klar. Sie könnte aufgehen, aber sie ist so manipuliert, dass sie eben nicht mehr aufgehen wird.
Und wie kommen die Leute da rein?
Durch die Tür. Haus, muss man gerade sagen, der Max Soller hat mich damals geködert, indem er gesagt hat, du musst mitmachen bei Lufthansa, spektakuläres Gebäude, 1800 Mitarbeiter, stell dir mal vor, wie viele Bilder die brauchen. Ich habe den Vertrag unterschrieben und kombinieren bei 90% aus Glas, sehr klar. Also es gibt nicht eine Wand hier im Haus, auf die wir Bilder hängen da. Das ist die einzige Wand, wo ein Bild hängt, das ist die Erklärung von Karls Nikolai. Das sind diese 3 Kurven, die man sieht. Man sieht dann auch noch ein schönes Gebäude mit den 10 Fingern. Klack, 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 klack. Und Herr Ingwer Top, es geht weiter, oder? Es sind noch ein paar Finger. Noch 18. Da ist noch Platz hinten dran. So, man sieht dann ganz schön diese Kurven, die dann eigentlich auch weitergehen können. Und bei diesem Beschwingen des Gebäudes geht natürlich unendlich weiter. Und wieder mal ist eine Tür dabei, die keinem auffällt. Da hinten steht die Tür auf, auch eine Elbrin- und Draxler-Tür zum Beispiel. Die aussieht, als hätte sie einer offen stehen lassen und die auch immer wieder gern zugemacht wird, aber sie ist eigentlich eine Fake-Tür. So, jetzt gehen wir noch über die Tür. Draußen gibt es aber leider nichts zu trinken. Ja, extra für dich ist die Daidi-Bar.